Come here now, girl.
Hello and welcome to WhatMap, your one-stop shop for everything workshop. I'm BonBonB and you're very, very welcome. Well, today I've got two strikingly different maps, both from the United States of America, so if you're after the American build, one of these two might really suit for you, and neither one of them's coastal, which is a little bit unusual for a Cities Skylines, do you not think? Anyway, this first one, I'm going to call it East Coast. I'm not sure where East Coast stops. We're as far in as the Allegheny Mountains. So that's where we are. Anyway, this, if you like autumnal maps, but you haven't found one that really pops just lately, this one is for you. Very nice. Okay, second one, if you're after a flat landscape, very grid city style build, but sort of middle America, there you go, we're off to Texas. Second, is that middle America? I know my America. I also know what the daily reminder's about. It's about reminding me to check the map of America to work out where America really is in the middle. Anyway, thanks for your support. Today's first map is Kit Hanink by FENRIR, and it's
my first map.
That's right. This is outstanding. For a first map, it's truly outstanding. It's an outstanding map anyway. There's your start square. Looks very strong indeed. I'm loving the shape of the river that's sort of like semi-diagonal across it. Beautifully done. Terrain heights across its real-life location, or taken from a real-life location at the very least. Then it says up there, realistic 1.5.5 temperate theme. There's your resources. We'll talk about that in a short moment. Fishing, if you've got Sunset Harbour and want to do some fishing, it's mostly salmon, a little bit of anchovy in that river and in the ponds. And then off to the workshop. What do we need? Well, it's a mass transit map. You will need mass transit for this one. However, if you have natural disasters, park life and Pearls of the East, apparently there's more detailing that requires those DLCs, not mods, those DLCs as well. But only if you have them. If you don't have them, it won't be broken. It's only for detailing purposes. Then we have a one-click collection with a few things like traffic managers. That's strictly needed, optimized outside collections. These are recommended rather than truly needed. So if you don't have either of those two, first of all, why not? But secondly, I understand. Also notice the prop anarchy deprecated there. We'll talk about that in a little bit more detail a little bit later on. But if you are using the temporary prop anarchy, it's now time to switch back to the original prop anarchy because it's being supported again. Okay, keep switching things about. I use both on this map for reasons we'll get to later. But there's lots of little things like this. This is just subtle, okay? We're coming in from the edge, and that's just a subtle little bit of transitional detailing that this map is packed full of. But anyway, let's get back onto other important stuff, like the map would automatically load up with realistic 1.5.5 temperate theme, and the recommended, though, in the... Just look at this. Everywhere you go, there's a view. But yes, the recommended in the one-click collection is the SCT, Stray Cats Territory Nature Reserve. And we're using, of course, the realistic 1.2 LUTs because nothing else was recommended. You're also going to want tree anarchy because there's over 1 million trees on this map, so it's not one for if you're not running mod. If you haven't got any mods like that, you're going to have hardly any trees at all. So yes, there's a lot of trees, but this map, what I've seen in the past with autumn style maps and New England and this kind of vibe maps is I've often thought, well, that's a lot of autumnal trees. Yeah, that's a lot. And there's a lot on this one as well, there's no question. But how often are they not used to their best potential? And I feel that this map, they are used, I mean, again, just look, transitional again. It's just, it's simple, it's subtle, and I love it. But yes, it's how often I've seen some auto. There's one I'm particularly thinking. I'm not going to mention it. There's one I'm particularly thinking of. I thought, wow, this is going to be amazing, and I was so underwhelmed. Maybe because I thought it was going to be amazing, and it just didn't quite. And I was underwhelmed because maybe it was good. I can't even remember what ratings I gave it. Maybe it was good, but not mind blowing. This I'm not going to use mind blowing on this map. I don't know if I'm going to use mind-blowing because there's a subtlety to it, and subtlety takes away the mind-blowing. But it's still exceptional in terms of everywhere you go. There's just subtle variations, little things like this, just this little transitional elevated area there, going across again to here. This would have taken some time. Look at the river again. My only thought there is maybe with the pillars in the river, possibly they could be just up on the, maybe. I mean, we'll probably come back and look at that later. I can't remember if I saved that as a go-to. But if there's anything wrong with this map, it's that one little, the pillars in the river. They can put pillars in the river. They can. There's no law against it. Anyway, yeah. The other thing in terms of detailing is there are a few occasional bits of non-terrain conforming assets that, if you happen to notice them, you don't miss them. Like, here we go, this one here. You can see that it's slightly floating. There's so much detailing on this map, though, it's actually hard to find anything that's non-terrain conforming. It really is. So, is it a fail? Is it a flaw? Yes, it's a fail and a flaw. Is it really one that's going to affect the map at all? I doubt you're going to argue that one. But yeah, there are going to be a few areas of non-terrain conforming grasses and weeds and shrubs, that sort of stuff. But good luck finding them. But you will find them. I found one because I was looking. And then I found it and I thought, well, if I find one, there's going to be more. Because this is a packed map. It's packed. Absolutely packed. Ram-jiggadied with content. So much. Anyway, you may have noticed we've gone off the highway now. We're onto a national road, which is leading us down into the start square. So this is going to be a busy little road, but it's not really a map I feel that you're going to be doing a huge city build on. So it's going to be busy, but no more busy than you would expect. Now we've got a little dirt track heading off here. You may notice it's blocked off, and I'm not going to show you why. I'm not. It goes up something goes up there that way. I'm not going to show you why until later. We'll go and have a look. Promise you it's worth it. Everything about this map is worth it. Everything. Apart from the one or two bits that aren't. But they're only one or two bits, okay? We're talking about an all-star map here. No. There are one or two bits. And I'm sure there's even people screaming at me right now. Yes, you're right. I saw it. But that's for later. Look, we're taking it. There's your start square. How nice is this? Not a big city, small town build, small river town build. It's going to be beautiful. It's honest. Detailer's dream map. Detailer's dream map. Right, we're going to have a look at the rail briefly. It follows the river. It doesn't do anything stupid or dumb, and the standards are decent. And do we have any trees on any of the networking at all? I would say no. I thought this was flooding for a moment, but it's just texture drawing. Look at that. Not flooding. It's all good. Excuse me. But yes, we've got a distinct lack of drowned trees on the map. We've got a distinct lack of anything just ridiculously transitional rail that's going upside the mountains or anything. We've got standards here. Remember, this is a first map. At least I'm assuming it's a first map. Are they lying to me? Are they lying to me? Are they? Possibly. Right. That little confluence there, I'm 90% liking it. It's the little bit with the moss detailing on the riverbanks there just felt a bit harsh, just a little bit in that one area. I mean, I'm trying to find reasons to not like the map. Okay, I'm trying to bring balance to the map, saying look, it's absolute. I'm telling you, it's absolutely amazing. You can see it's absolutely amazing. I'm trying to point out the one or two bits that maybe aren't. That maybe, if not FENRIR or FENRIR is going to be FENRIR. I'm not going to call it FENRIR earlier. FENRIR would go back and fix just little things for maybe other people that are looking at inspiration or go, oh, there's an idea. We could do this. We could steal that idea. Stealing ideas is fine. Listen, we all improve by learning from others. That's learning from ourselves sometimes as well, from our fails. Right, okay, shipping routes. Interestingly, the shipping route follows the exact same line as the air route. I think the air route probably should be straighter, but again, does it matter? Are you going to notice that the aeroplanes way up in the sky are following the exact path of the river? I would say you probably won't. I kind of like the cleanliness of this route, though, and the way that they marry up. There's something kind of sweet about it, but I probably still would have gone more of a straighter, maybe with a slight bend in there. But you're following the exact line of the river. I'm sure the air route probably does follow the river. It's easy for the pilots not to get lost if you're following a river, which does have strong water flow in the start square, so we have no issues there, yeah. So I understand following the rivers to not get lost. I get that. But following them exactly, or just keeping them sort of like roughly in the like 30% field of view in front of your cockpit window, maybe, possibly. I don't know. I've never flown. Anyway, let's just take a look at some boring areas. Here's a boring area. This is just trees and hills, and even the amount of grass work that's been put down here feels right. We have denser trees in the valleys, in the little troughs where the water would collect, where we have fewer trees on the tops of the hills. It's just thinned out. It's subtle, and time has been spent. I mean, literally, it's not just spamming. It's working your way along the map going, would there be trees here? Would there be more trees here? Would there be fewer trees here? Look at the grasses and moss detailing on these little islands along the main river as well. That's just that. And look at the rock work up here. Because it's cleared, you can see the rock work, and that makes it a little feature area. I can imagine people going up there having a picnic and having pictures taken and Instagramming. And it probably does in real life, maybe. Possibly. Anyway, back to this dirt track. I've actually come a little bit up the hill because I don't want to take you through a bit that you've already seen. We'll have a little look at what's up here. I promise you it's worth it. I promise you it's worth it. It's just subtly classy. First of all, little area down there people were living, but also look at the cleared area. You can imagine this was cleared for the logs or whatever to make these houses, and then it's just like it's rubble. And it looks completely burnt out. Look at this. It's so subtly done. Slick and subtle, and I like it a lot. Okay, even the vanilla trees just blend in there. And then we've got a little mine. This is what it's all about. Little coal mine. Or I'm guessing it might be an iron. They were mining for something. That is, I think, my favourite little mining area I have ever seen in a map. And that's a big statement, because I've seen a lot. Then we have a little harbour area here. And again, there's something a little bit harsh along this. But again, it's a harbour, so it was man-built. So it is meant to be a little bit harsh, I guess. But yeah, that exists, and that's very neatly done. Now we're down to little feature areas, everybody's favourite factories. That's there for the BonBonBingo players, and these are here for the BonBonBingo players, because while we have rail, it doesn't go anywhere. Oh, what about the other way though? Hang on. I told you, it doesn't go anywhere. It's abandoned, and you can reclaim it and use it for your city. Okay. Then we have a little lake here. I heart this lake. It's just subtle again. A little bit of grassing connecting it up with the seam of trees we've got in there. Is that I heart this lake? There you go. I heart it. I told you. Yeah, it's just little and subtle and nice. Now, everywhere you go on the rivers, you're getting a lovely view. Like here. Look at these rivers. Usually, with a map, this has got a lot of little rivers like this map. If you go on a map with lots of little twiddly rivers like this, you'll find a spot where you go, yeah, but this looks like it was just like handmade by somebody. It doesn't look like it actually is a real river. Well, everywhere you go on this map, the rivers, even the little twiddly rivers like this, up to their spawn points, feel like real rivers. Now, I know the spawn points are not realistic, but they're about as well done as you're going to do on a map like this. So I'm okay with them. I'm okay with you. Can't have true realism everywhere. It's a game. You have to draw a line somewhere. I think the line was drawn very, very nicely here. Do you know what? Let's go and pick another river, which is way out on the beaten track. So just to show that everywhere you go, randomly, this is completely random. There we go. Just you could take a screenshot there and call it beautiful, I would say. And here, I mean, seriously, everywhere you go, the rivers are just dreamy. Dreamy, I tell you. How about over here? One more. One more. You know me and my rivers. There you go. Just one more. Everywhere you go, all the rivers basically say, come and fish in me. I've got salmon. I'm hungry now. Been there. Okay. Yes, I did save this one previously, but I'll, you know, just if anything, like I say, those pillars in the river could be just shunted over a little bit. I think there's a way of doing it and for it to look right. Now, you may have noticed this earlier. If you did, well done. We do have probably a missing pillar here, I feel. I would suggest probably one on either side, just to add balance to this. This wouldn't really be self-supporting, or if it did self-support, once you put a train on it, I don't think it would be self-supporting. So there's probably a node under. Hang on, let's just see what if we move the road underneath. Do we actually get a pillar? No, we don't. Now, I thought this was probably because of Anarchy. I did mention Anarchy. I loaded the map up with the deprecated version. I thought, oh, maybe this is missing because of the deprecated version. Switched it to the now working version, and what you're looking at now is the map with the working version. So you are strictly looking at it with the wrong mod, but I'm telling you, it worked with the right mod, or the listed mod, which is now the wrong mod. Am I making any sense? No, I know I never do. No, that's not the image I want. Right, while I go and find myself a screenshot, what do you think of today's first map? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month for the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It will take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure you are voting on Kit Hanink. Kit Hanink by FENRIR. Right, okay, what do I think of Kit Hanink? Which apparently means along the main river in local tongue, as it would have been. Well, aesthetically, this is a winner. I cannot grumble at all. At all. I'm going 5 stars. This is how you do an autumn map. It's just outstanding. Okay? Detailing, I'm going to match that with it. This is outstanding and say 5 stars apart from missing pillar where there really should be pillars. Can't do it. Going to go for a very, very, very high 4 stars. Sorry about that. It was too key. It was a start square. It's not even subtle. It's start square. Gameplay potential. If you want this sort of map, it's going to be a great map. Don't see it entirely as a 5-star for gameplay because it could do with a little bit more buildable space here and there, a bit more enticement to play it, but wow, still good. Middle 4. So Kit Hanink by FENRIR for a first map is so outstanding. It's going to get, yeah, you guessed it, the BonBonB seal of approval. No question at all. It's an absolute beauty. Please keep them coming. I am so impressed. Second map's got a lot to live up to. Anyway, be right back. And so back with today's second map. Completely different. Completely different. We're much lighter on assets. We are much lighter on detailing. It's a real life location or inspired by a real life location because there's one thing in here that I don't think matches up. In fact, it's 2 things, but one we can live without. The other one I would say is a little bit creative. Unless, of course, the creator knows better. Because I'm not local. I've never been. I'm never going to go. I'm definitely never going to go. Are you ready? You ready for a trip off to, as voted in by the BonBon Buddies? It's Paris, Texas by I Can't Think of a Name. I can't really understand why they voted this one in, but having loaded the map up, because it looks very disinteresting, there's actually stuff to talk about. I really didn't think there would be. I thought this was going to be a waste of time. There's your start square. We've got water in there in the lake, and we've got like the roads getting you started. Terrain heights, it's very flat this area, so it's going to be very flat this area. And then resources are, well, we've got fertile land, we've got forestry. That's all I can tell you. All right, good. Off to the workshop. No, we're at shipping, fishing, shipping. Anchovies and salmon. I don't know. It's gone. Okay, off to the workshop. Now we'll go off to the workshop now. What do we need? We've got some NAF roads. We've got the Oklahoma summer theme. Tree Anarchy, because we're just slightly over the 250k. So you will need that one for this particular map. But if you don't, you're not going to be missing too much probably. Apparently the area's got an ugly history. I don't know about the ugly history. Having said that, I can probably speculate on the ugly history given that whereabouts in the world we are. So if somebody wants to educate me, that's fine. I will read it. But I don't think we need to go into any depth because we can move on. I think as a society, we have. Mostly. I know there's still problems. Listen, I know there's still problems. Anyway, where were we? Tree Anarchy. Told you that one. Now, in a real-life location here, and again, we've gone a little bit subtle. It's a subtle map. Leaves you all of the room for all of the assets. You know, if you're wanting to build up and you haven't got a big beefy PC, this is the sort of map that you could be looking at. Real-life location is Paris, Texas. And I thought, oh, that's probably borrowed, isn't it, as a name? I've noticed, having gone down to Google Earth just to check to see whether things match up, and there are a couple of things that don't, but I will show them off. I promise you I will. Listen, this is the sort of map that needs that sort of thing to be able to talk about something. We're 5 miles, approximately, 5 miles from Reno. Not that Reno. No, Reno, Texas. We're about 15 miles from Detroit. No, not that Detroit. Yeah, Detroit, Texas. And 20 miles, approximately, 25 miles, from Bogota. Yeah, no, definitely not. Who knew that Paris was only 20 miles from Bogota? Well, now you do, because I didn't. Now, this is the ring road that goes around the town, and all of the intersections, according to Google Earth, from what I can tell, are of this style. And I think that's perfectly adequate for and if you're doing a real life build, you match up the real life intersections, don't you? Yeah, it doesn't have to be truly pinpoint accurate, but so that somebody who wants to build Paris, Texas, that comes from Paris, Texas, they'll go, oh, the interchange 105, and I'm making that number up. Interchange 105, it's one of those, you know. Anyway, here we are. This is the middle of town. The grid is set up for you to build a grid out from. Again, not talking about a big skyscraper city. We're just talking about a small middle Texas, mid-America. I said mid-America. I'm going with mid-America. Well, we're not East Coast. We're not West Coast, are we? Okay, we have rail. I'm not going to look at any more roads. What's the point? You've got the idea, haven't you? The rail, though, we have got something to talk about. We've definitely got something to talk about. Bends off here, and it merges with the rail line over here, and heads off back the way we came. No catenary chaos, so credit for that. Heads off back the way we came. In fact, almost exactly back the way we came. You can see it just marries up over there. Doesn't actually have a junction that connects us over this way. And I've had a look at Google Earth, and I think that this is accurate. Although it would be nice if we had a junction here. A little bit of creativity would be nice, but I understand that because there isn't a junction there in real life, you wouldn't want to put one in. So there is that. So there are little things like that, little subtleties that if you're doing a real life recreation of Paris, Texas, little things like that will please you. However, we will be going back there later because see the way that the rail skirts this river? Yeah. There's something to think about a little bit later on. Just something subtle to think about a little bit later on. So anyway, let's have a look at some tree painting where it doesn't matter. This is tree painting where it doesn't matter. Now, unlike the last map, this is just basically spam down to fill a gap. I think that's fair enough in it. I can't think of a name. There's nothing wrong with it. It's doing a job. It's not going to win any prizes. Then we've got the big lake. This is the big lake. And I did have a name for this. I've got the name of another lake, but not this one. Anyway, big old lake reservoir, I would suggest, given the straight edge over here, where there's probably some sort of damage. And well, it's not damage, but dam. You know, it's a dam, so it was damaged. Yeah, something like that. A little bit of a jiggly jog along there that could be smoothed out, softened out slightly, if anybody cares enough to do so. Also, we've got a circular copse. There you go. That shows that a lot of time was spent blending and merging on that particular copse. Probably is a circular copse. I've not checked. I didn't care enough to go and check. Anyway, around the outside, it's just more tree fillers. Just makes it completely less boring. And we're in Texas, so I guess it's supposed to be a little bit boring, yeah? Just a little bit, maybe. Right, okay, have a look at this. This is Lake Gordon. I did look this one up. You may notice Lake Gordon has a straight edge right there, and you're going, another dam. Maybe, but also, and this is key, have a little look at what that lines up with. Can you see? I'm going to fly a straight line. I'm going to drive a straight line in the air. That's it. I'm going to fly a straight line. You may be a little bit surprised. I'm not, because I'm so happy when this did actually line up. I'm so happy to go, yep, I Can't Think of Names done a great job here, and they have. Look what it lines up with. Our rail depot. And that's because while there isn't a rail line junction, where I said there probably should be, there's a separate line actually that comes off from about here. It might actually connect up with the other one, not that I could tell from Google Earth. Anyway, and that goes in a straight line through here. I think it goes under that line, and it heads off through here. So we're missing a whole rail line. It might be abandoned. I couldn't tell. I didn't research enough. But it makes sense. This butterfly interchange I cannot find any hint of in Google Earth. I think this is a creative touch from I Can't Think of a Name. Whether or not you approve or not, it depends on whether you're looking to do a real life build or whether you are looking for creativity. Rail over road, beautifully done. Or is it? A little bit of blue mantle and not just that side, but that side as well. It can happen sometimes on rail. So, I don't know. We'll let it go. And I like the way this is done. Actually, let me just show you with the terrain lines on. We've just got a little bit of water would run through there, wouldn't it? Yeah. So anyway, that's perfect, isn't it? Perfect. Unfortunately, there's a little bit of blue mantle on each side of this as well. It can happen on roads as well. Just a little bit. Anyway, if we're going to grumble about things, let's grumble about this. At least we know which way north is, yeah? It doesn't matter which way up you hold this one. North is that way, but also north is that way. It's still the same way. Also, zombies are coming from the north. Winter is coming, so it would seem. And it also works that way as well. It doesn't matter which way round. That is very well thought out. Doesn't exist in real life. Not that I could find. But maybe it does. But I couldn't find it. But maybe it does. Anyway, what do you think of Paris, Texas by I Can't Think of a Name? Is it a 1-star map? Is it a 5-star map? Is it somewhere in between? Your vote really does count. We use it at the end of the month, the Viewer's Choice Top 10. Will this be one of the top 10 maps of the month? Only you can decide. Hit the I button now or the link in the description. It'll take you to the voting page where you can vote for free. But make sure you're voting on Paris, Texas. Also, apologies. Last month's Viewer's Choice will be coming out this weekend. Right, okay. What do I think of Paris, Texas? Well, it's a bit mundane, isn't it? I think that's look, it matches up with the area. It's not unpleasant. It's okay. Okay and fine would be middle 3, and I don't think it matches up with. I think the matching up's good enough to get it into medium high 3. Detailing, not really too much to talk about there. I would say about medium high 3 as well, because the matching up's pretty good. But I would go I'm gonna have to drop it just a third of a star or something. Don't bring it down, just a middle 3. Just go middle 3 because of the blue mantles. Gameplay, I'm going to go slightly above middle 3. It's playable. It's not going to let you down. If you're looking for this sort of map, you're going to have a really good time. But it's not the most inspiring map from my personal point of view. It's all subjective. My point of view, it's not one for me. But you might love it. Paris, Texas by I Can't Think of a Name. Don't think it's their best work, and I'm sure it won't be their worst work. It's fine. Paris, Texas. 20 miles from Bogota. Oh, great. I love America. I love America. Can't think of a name? Ask I Can't Think of a Name to think of one for you. Anyway, thanks for watching, for commenting, for liking, and for subscribing. And go on, take a risk. Use the words of the day in the comments to prove you're part of the 20 and out elite. And I will be back on Friday with another What's Map. And this weekend, like I say, viewer's choice. I didn't have time to do it. It was such a tight schedule for last week, so we'll do it this week instead. See you very, very soon.